good morning, and how do you do? Thanks for stopping by to join me today on my vertical live stream. Um, the tip, I try to give a tip right up front so you don't have to wait through all my talking if you're not having the time. So, today's tip, I'm going to talk about cold reading. Now, a lot of you actors and actresses might not run into this. Um, But then again, you might. A lot of the auditions today, nowadays, are self-tape. So you're able to do the self-tape. You're able to do it at home, at your leisure, or go somewhere and get it done. I recommend learning to do it yourself at home, and do it as many times as you want until you get it correct, or you get it to the spot where you think is the best representation of your ability. So that's cold reading, self-tape. But there's something that used to be real popular, and it still can make a comeback. It's called cold reading. And that's when a casting director or a producer or a director hands you a script and tells you to go out and step out in the hallway, look it over, and then come back in and do a cold reading for us. So that still can happen. And that's a skill as an actor you need to work on. You need to have the ability to look at some material, try to memorize it as quickly as possible, and then deliver a believable performance. It's not easy. Cold reading has never been easy. Cold reading is a skill that you need to work on. So again, that's something that kind of has disappeared. Excuse me. There's not that many in-person auditions anymore. Now they do still obviously have in-person auditions, especially for bigger roles. So that may happen. You may go in and they giving you some audition sides to read and work on at home. And they call you into the producer's office or the director's office. And you do that scene. And then if they like you, you get what's called an instant callback. And that's the cold reading. They'll hand you another scene and say, can you take this scene and step out in the hallway and look it over? And then once you're ready, come back in. So cold reading is a skill that actors need to work on. You need to just get some material, get a couple of scripts, 3 or 4 or 5 or 6 short scripts, and they only need to be like monologue length, and maybe shuffle them up, and then just grab one, and then look at it, and see how quickly you can get the grasp of what the material is, and how effectively you can deliver that. Now that's a skill that you need to work on. You could work on that with a partner. You could work on that by yourself. You can go online and do a Google search for a monologue, and then find one and print it out, work on it right there, and then deliver it into the camera for yourself. Practice cold reading. You can do a Google search about cold reading. There are a lot of teachers out there who specialize in that, used to specialize in it a lot. And it is a skill. It's a skill. It takes time. It takes practice. It takes rehearsing. But it's a great ability to have, that you can be an effective actor who can do cold reading. And sometimes what you can do also too, and it's kind of acceptable on cold reading, you can improvise a little. You can get the gist of the material, and you want to stay as true to the dialogue as possible. But a lot of times it's not easy to memorize it at a snap of a finger unless you have that type of memory, which is good. I've known a few people over the years who had that photographic style memory. They can read something one time and then they can recite it back. But that's rare. That's very rare. But practice the skill of cold reading. And also with cold reading, you're mostly always allowed to have the script in your hand so that you can glance at it real quickly and then look back up. That's another thing you need to practice. Having the script in your hand during a cold read, looking at it, maybe reading the first 2 or 3 lines and then looking back up and deliver those lines to your reader or to the actor you're reading with. Or if you're doing a cold reading off camera, you'll look to the left or right of the camera like I'm looking right now. Most of the time when you do a cold reading, they don't want you to look directly into the camera. Most of the time when you do any self-tape, they never want you to look directly into the camera. You're not doing a news broadcast or a podcast on YouTube. They want to see how you look when you're speaking to a scene partner off camera. And this is normally, the way I'm looking right now, this is normally how a shot will be shot, a close-up. where you're not looking directly into the camera. That's rare. Sometimes you do that, but most of the time it's rare. You never look directly into the camera. So you'll be looking off camera, delivering your dialogue believably to your reader or your scene partner. So that's a part of the cold reading skill. Practice it, get better at it. Like I said, go online and do some more reading about cold reading skills and how to practice cold reading. But the basic knowledge, the basic skill is being able to pick up a scene, and it's mostly going to be a page, or maybe a page or two of dialogue, and being able to believably bring that text off the screen, off the page, and bring it to life believably. So again, cold reading is a skill you need to work on, and that's a great way to practice. It's almost like a monologue, but you're working with material that you didn't have the time to work on. You're working with material that was just handed to you. Another way to do it, a great way to practice this, is if you have a fellow actor or actress or friends, both pick material for each other, and then get online if you want to do it online or do it in person, and send the person, they send you their cold scene, you send them your cold scene, and you guys practice cold reading. So that's a way you can practice cold reading with a partner. Better to do it in person. You guys meet for coffee and both bring scenes and you exchange them and you do cold reading practice. All these little tips are ways to make you better. But the bottom line is you have to rehearse. You have to stay sharp. You have to practice your skill as an actor or an actress. Don't just sit around waiting for the audition, waiting for the email to come in from your manager or agent that you have an audition, and then you get to work. You need to practice on your own. Okay, so that was a tip for today. What I plan to do today, I'm leaving town, so I won't be doing too much editing today, but I will still be with you guys vertical live. I'm going up Northern California, but I have my cell phone, so I'll still be joining you on the vertical live stream. I have some videos I'm going to shoot also that I have planned, so I'm going to shoot some of my videos for next week, and I will still be here on Sunday at noon Pacific time, California time, LA time, whatever, and that's wherever your time zone is. So do the time conversion. Join me Sunday at noon so that we can talk about projects you may have in development, projects you're thinking about. That's when we do our question and answer session. So I'd love you to stop by, ask a quick question. If you're working on something, I'd love to help you out if I can, give you some advice. Also give you some tips on what not to do, what won't work in my experience. So I have a lot of that experience. I can tell you what won't work. I'm an expert in that. So I will see you on Sunday, but I will be back probably tomorrow morning on the live stream and give you another update and another quick tip. So remember, today's quick tip, cold reading. Cold reading is a skill that every actor needs to practice. Okay, I'll see you next time.